So I figured I would actually make a nice little video kind of explaining how I got into HEMA, because I've been getting some more comments of people asking just how does someone get into swordsmanship or HEMA as a whole. Now, there's many different kinds of swordsmanship, and HEMA is just something that I stuck with because it's a good middle ground with a lot of other trades of weapons and martial arts. That's why I like it, and that's why I stuck with it. And if you do want to learn HEMA, I've kind of touched about it in some other videos here and there, but the best way of doing it is finding a HEMA instructor. Now, not everyone has the luxury of having a HEMA instructor. I'm one of those individuals that there is no HEMA instructor, there's no HEMA class or anything like that nearby me, or at least nearby that I can actually reliably go to. So I had to learn a lot from YouTube, finding manuals or manuscripts online, tons of YouTubers that are very good at the knowledge that they know and actually what they practice. So you can't just, I wouldn't recommend just sticking with one type of YouTuber. There's all sorts of HEMA YouTubers that are very good and they all have something good to say. Yes, they are wrong about some things here and there, but that's because we're all biased towards certain things a little bit more than others. You're going to find that in any field, especially in martial arts of any kind. You're really going to find a lot of people who are more geared towards one style over another, because that's just what clicks for them. So, when you're sitting there trying to find a HEMA instructor, you do want to look for things like general information that they can actually back or source. That's a very good thing to have for an actual instructor or someone trying to teach. That's why I don't like to try to teach too much. I just like to show the practice, because I don't always have all the sources to link or to show. But that's on my end. I can get better with that, and that's something I should do. My way of learning HEMA was because I was always interested in swords and sword play ever since I was young. Lots of guys are, and actually just lots of people in general. I did have to learn a few things the hard way, for sure, because when you grow up watching Hollywood or even like historical fencing, growing up with that, you see some of the best of the best, and you expect that you yourself can replicate such, like, said speeds, performance, or balance, or whatever the case is. You think that, oh, can't be that difficult. The most difficult part is actually fighting. Which was a learning curve, because just because you might be naturally stable doesn't mean that you can swing around an object and not get thrown by it. So, I had a lot of learning myself with that, especially since I got into, great swords, long swords, and stuff like that. I'm still not great with them, but I've been having a lot of fun. And that's really the biggest key factor, is consistency. Actually practicing as much as you can. Now, you don't have to practice daily. Some people, like me, we like to practice daily because it's what we enjoy. I come home from work, I shower, I eat, and then I like to train. That's my type of schedule, that's what I like to do. If you're someone who's newer, and let's say you already have a pretty physically demanding job, you don't have to train every day. Especially if it is going to make you wake up tired, sore, or anything like that that might hinder your actual real life job. As much as I want to make money off of this, I don't make a dime. So, for me, I still have to pick my battles and actually choose when to practice, which is still daily, but that's why I don't overdo it when I do practice. So yes, I'm someone who I learned online and a lot of trial and error. If you want to go that route, completely fine. Go with that route. But I will recommend, if there's a HEMA instructor, go and find a HEMA instructor. You're going to learn the basics so much better, and you're going to be able to learn more advanced moves a lot easier, because those instructors are very good at their job. Because they want to teach people. Just like how I want to help people maybe find a passion in it or something like that. Because kind of grows the community, and it's a lost art that is kind of going away. It's coming back, but it's also going away. Due to the fact that there are a lot of people who want to try to act tough on the internet and have martial arts of any kind as a stepping stone of, oh, I can box and do this damage. The reality is, everyone can do that sort of damage once they're practiced enough. So, I won't take up too much more of your time. I do appreciate anyone who is kind of listening to me ramble on, because I will ramble on a lot more. It's just, if you want to click off the video at this point, go for it. I just want to say I do appreciate all you guys. So, it's a short kind of summary of how I got into it, and it is very rambly, which I apologize for again. But yes, I appreciate all you guys, and I do hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I do, since I am going to ramble on, I do want to talk about some aspects of HEMA that a lot of us might not always agree on, which is very simple. Things like footwork, which is very important, is a very strong thing to actually focus on, because your footwork is going to lead your upper body. If your footwork is good and stable, your upper body is going to be stable. That's just the basis of how it works. Now, a lot of people will like their footwork to be picture perfect to the manuals and manuscripts. The issue with that is the manuscripts don't always get it right when it comes to posture. And what I mean by that isn't like what you should or shouldn't do is wrong. It's correct in the source of that, but it's kind of wrong because not everyone has the same type of body structure. Some people actually have shorter legs on one side compared to the other, which means they have to modify how they step. Now, you generally get into the similar position, but you still have to modify it that works for you. And it's just something that a lot of people will kind of argue about, because even I get comments of it where people are like, oh, you weren't stable, or your footwork needs improving, it's not stable here and there. Which, they are correct. There's lots of times where my footwork is bad. But that doesn't mean it's not stable. Is it less stable? 100%. But that doesn't mean I'm just going to get thrown around like a paper bag. So when you're trying to learn HEMA, there's going to be all sorts of little things that you're going to kind of go back and forth with. And that's the tough part about kind of trying to learn at your own pace, is there's a lot of back and forth of information. Some people will say it is okay to overextend just that little bit to get that reach if needed. Other people will say it's bad. Because when you're going in for thrusts, some people will say never fully extend because you're stretching a little too far, makes you less stable. That is correct. You're making yourself less stable, but you're trying to get a point, usually, if you're doing stuff like that. If you want a true strong thrust, yes, it is kind of just quick jab, and it doesn't have to go far. That is technically a better thrust. However, when you're in the moment of sparring, it's really easy to accidentally lean in a little too far and try to thrust. So, honestly, when it comes down to it, don't overthink it. You're going to have moments where you're going to, like, overstep, understep. It's a learning curve. No one's going to do everything 100% perfectly, and that's just my philosophy with HEMA, or my philosophy in life all the time. You're going to mess up once in a while, so if you're going to do it, might as well still achieve your goal on top of messing up. So, I appreciate it. Again, I appreciate any of you guys who have listened to me ramble on. I will end it off here. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy, and I do hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I enjoy all you guys.